Hello, welcome back to Wild Sun Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne, and we are here today to talk about designing our own pockets. In my challenge journal for Nik the Booksmith, I used all kinds of pockets, or several different kinds, and I thought I'd show you how I make them. Maybe you know all of this, but I just thought I would go over it. So in the first kind of pocket, this is the easy one. So you just need a pocket big enough to hold a little card. And it's got two sides and a bottom flap, which we then glue in place and put on in our journal. The thing that's great about these, there is an even easier pocket. You can just take a piece of paper and put glue, 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 and stick it in your journal, and then you can put something in there. The thing that's not great about that is you don't have a lot of leeway. There isn't a lot of space for you to add something else. And with these pockets, especially if you don't glue all the way to the edge, you glue to about there, it gives you a little ease in putting something in a pocket, just to make sure that, it's a pleasant experience and you're not fighting to get little things. Or if you have something heavier, this is multi-layered paper. So this is how it's how I do it. When I want a pocket and I want my paper to stick about that far out of the pocket, well, I guess the easiest thing is to cut it out first to give myself sort of a general amount of paper. So, not too tightly, I would pull that in, and this edge up here is the machine cut edge. So if I match this side and this side together as best I can, I'm more likely to get closer to a 90-degree sharp angle, which is great. The pocket will just look a little better. And then again, making sure that I'm leaving just a smidgen of space that'll make it easier to get in and out of the pocket. I fold the other side. Now, notice that these two sides aren't exact. If you want to measure, that's fine. That's not usually what I do because I'm not looking that hard and I don't mind, but it's fine to measure that. And then you fold the bottom up. So there's our pocket. Now, if we just glued it like that, we'd have a little bit of bulkiness, and you can see a little bit of the edge. So what we'll do now, can you see the marks of the fold? So what we will do, let's take my little scissors, is cut in from the fold a little bit to make sure that when we glue this all together, that these papers you won't be able to see them from the front. And by cutting out this square, you're getting rid of any extra bulk. So there, I like to fold the sides in first and the back in, the bottom in last. It, again, just makes it easier to put your card in, and you're less likely to get stuck right there. The paper will flow in a little bit better. So you just glue around the edges and put it in your journal. So that's one kind. And then the next kind of pocket is very fun. Actually, it's really fun. So let's say that we had a trifold piece of paper, and maybe it had photographs or pictures or writing or whatever on the inside. And we wanted to enclose it. Well, here I can show you on this one. We wanted to make a pocket that had a full back on it. Now, one of the advantages to this is that you can put washi tape or something down the edge, and in your journal it can flip open, and you can also add another photograph or more writing or pretty scrapbook paper there. But also, when you have a big piece of paper or something a little bit bulky, you won't catch on the folds on the back. It's just an easier thing to put in. So let's talk about what we're doing here. So we need to have a back, right? And then we want to attach the front and the back. It's just less gluing to do. More designing, but less gluing. So we want to put that over, and then we're going to need to make a flap for the back. So let me show you how that goes. So again, we want to leave some ease here. And we will take this, and we'll leave a little ease on this side too. And fold it. Again, machine cut paper, so if I line up those two edges nicely, then this will most likely be a very pretty 90-degree angle. Then we're going to take this extra paper, because the top piece is longer. We'll come around the back and fold that. There we go. So there's the back fold. Now we're going to need to have some sort of flap on the bottom, or else it will fall out, of course. Come this way. All right. So it's prettiest if the flap goes from the front to the back and then you don't see it. So what we're going to need to do is cut the back a little bit shorter. I mean, you could add a flap on here. It's just easier to cut off part of the back, and then this bottom part of the front becomes the flap that wraps to the back. And I'm just going to eyeball this again. It's perfectly fine to measure this. So I'm cutting all the way to the fold line there. There's the fold line. And I'm going to angle this cut just a little, just to, again, to make sure that it doesn't show through on the other side. And then this side needs to be cut more or less the same. And we'll angle that a bit too. So fold the back and the front together and fold this up. There we go. Now, what we've got here is a pocket we can put our tall paper in. And there is a little bit of room to grab the paper here. However, if you want to make it pretty, and this is what I did with this one. So here's our green pocket. And what I did was I folded this paper in half so that when I cut that curve, the two sides matched each other. And when I cut this, I actually gave it quite a point. You you could try to make it a, just a nice round. That would be fine. So because I've done this already, this one's a little bigger, so I'm having to kind of center it. And somewhere I own a pencil, which I got out of habit of using when I was doing the challenge. So I'm just going to sort of give myself a guideline, and when I cut, I'll cut under that. To make sure I don't get any blue pen marks. And then while I was making this one, I left this part tall, but I think I'm going to cut it straight across there. But I'll cut straight down that fold mark so that the back is all of a piece. So do you see my little blue? Boy, even I can't see them. Well, I hope you can, and if not, I hope you get the general gist of what is going on here. I'm going to go a little bit under my dotted line there, just to make sure we don't see that. I mean, it's fine, of course, to draw intentional designs. Alrighty, so put that over there. So there's our the back of our pocket. Fold the front over, fold the side around, and the bottom up. And now we have a lovely pocket. So that's our second pocket. And I had a third pocket. Oh yes, this is my triple fold pocket. So what happens if you want to have a pocket in the back and a pocket in the front? We end up having sort of the, what is this? This is the back, this is the front, and this is the very front. So let's use this blue paper that we used before, okay? So we're going to need a back and a front that are basically the exact same size, right? Only the front needs to have a fold to the back. The front is over there on this side. So we're going to leave a little space down at the bottom to make the tab over here. And we're going to make a fold here that will leave plenty of room for the blue paper card that will be put in the pocket, in the back of the pocket. And then right along the edge of the paper, we can fold the third fold, the second fold for the third part in the front. See how that goes. So now, before we get too ahead of ourselves, if the card is going to sit in the pocket about there, so this will leave room for a tab to go under, and we're going to have some sort of little arch thing up there. The very top of the card isn't going to be any higher than that. And let's do this tab fold right here so that we can cut off any extra. This is the tab that'll come up and back and close up. Now, on this front paper, which is that one, that we're going to cut an arch into, we don't need this extra paper, so let's cut that off. We will cut along the fold line and angle that a bit so we won't see the tab on the front. Oh, actually, this is the front. All right. So we're going to angle the tab there and angle the tab there and cut off the extra. So we have the front and then the front little angled pocket. So let's cut an angle, and because it's just one angle and it's not mirroring anything, you can just cut that, just a nice slow arc. And then this becomes superfluous paper, so we just cut right along the fold line. Things are beginning to take shape. So there's the fold. Well, wait a minute. Let's fold this in back. Make that a nice sharp crease so we know exactly where that's going to be. And now this fold is a little crooked, so we'll fix that. And these two are being sort of grinchy. So I'm going to even that off a bit. Now, this is the pocket in back. And on this one, I cut the front and the back exactly the same, but then I wanted to make it easy to put a piece of paper in, so I folded this flap down and put it under there. But what if, because this arcs this way, what if I had this pocket arc that way? We'd still be able to get in just fine. So I'm mentally making note that actually I can make a little mark. If this arc comes to here, I want this arc to go below that. So I'm going to make a little mark. And I know that I want to cut this arc so that it arcs down lower. So it'll look like a really pretty little zigzag. All right. So I have a piece of paper, in there, and then that. Let's cut another little bit of paper. This is so not a straight line, but I cut it really fast. And I'll have another piece of paper in front. Easy in, easy out. Easy in, easy out. And if you want, and I think that would look pretty, we can round that edge. So there you go. There's a 3 pocket. And what you do here, so that this card doesn't just fall out, is you glue just on the bottom. Let's do that. So we should use the nice Fabri-Tac so we don't make our paper wrinkle. And And there we go. So now the red won't fall out and the blue is tucked in there. We've got lots of stuff going on in this sweet little pocket. So there's a pocket and there's a pocket. You wouldn't really want to stack them like that, but there we go. We've got some lovely choices for pockets for your art journal. I hope you have fun. Making pockets is very fun, and deciding what goes in said pockets is also really fun. So, good luck to you. I'll see you next time. Bye.